morning. It's 7:03 on this Wednesday, February 3rd. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. It is a Wednesday morning, and we are glad to have you with us, and glad to see the sun shining. If it's not shining, it's about to clear on a Wednesday morning, the day after Groundhog Day, and we're ready to talk about Cedarstone Bank of Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, Simply Better. Believe it or not, Robert L. McDonald is here, and Robert is the guy you'll find in the Donaldson office. He's Vice President, Relationship Manager. That's what it says on your card here. Is that still right?
Yes, sir. That is still accurate.
Good morning.
Thank you for asking, Coleman. Good morning. Great to be back with you.
Well,
it's been a few weeks. Last time I was here, I think there was some frost on the ground, another chilly morning, but excited to be here with you today.
Well, we're really glad to have you. Just good to see you every once in a while. I ask Bob about you occasionally,
yes,
and I think things are going well for you and for the Donaldson office and for Cedarstone Bank.
Going great, yes, sir. Another great year for Cedarstone Bank last year in 2020, and then we're off to a great start, and our customers are doing well, our communities are doing well. So as we talked about, I think we're finally almost through this stage we've been through this past year. So we're excited about moving forward and getting back out into the community and getting engaged again.
I think most people are still, and especially most businesses and so on, still distancing.
Yes, sir.
I don't think we've let down much there. Masks are not necessarily required in some places, but encouraged, but especially staying 6 feet or so apart. And I think y'all have done a pretty good job.
And we do the same. We do the same with us, Coleman. Of course, we're very cognizant of that, and now we know more about it. So I think everybody understands kind of how this operation works. But at the Donaldson office, we were open throughout the whole pandemic at its height. We would not have a drive-through, so we did limited lobby access. We had markings on the floor for 6 feet apart. We put barriers up, some nice-looking barriers there until a row of some glass screens. We've been very, very cognizant and very careful about it and done well with it.
Yeah. Well, what do you mostly do? You sit behind the desk most of the time while you're at work. Really?
I do have a desk, yes, sir, but love talking to folks, and when we can, get out in the community and be engaged with folks and go see people. Of course, that's difficult right now.
Yeah,
a lot of phone interactions, a lot of conference calls. This Zoom thing, I know I'm younger, but I was not aware of really how that worked until all this stuff happened. So a lot of that. But yes, behind the desk, making calls, checking on folks. That's kind of my day-to-day, out in the lobby and interacting with folks as they come in. And so it's a wonderful
I was
time.
asking you before we went on the air here about your grandfather. Of course, Willie McDonald is sort of he is an icon in the banking industry, and they made quite a name for himself, but he finally did retire. So I said, do you ever see him? And you
Coleman, it's a nice chuckle. We see him once or twice a week, if not more. He comes in there and just has a big old time with us all. Of course, he has to be very careful with his age, but he likes to talk to folks, and he'll stay his part. Now, he'll have his mask hanging under his chin, Coleman. He'll look at me, and he'll tell me, now, Robert, if you see your grandmother, you tell her I was wearing this correctly. So,
well, you do have money to lend.
Yes,
as we
sir.
say quite often, you can get a loan at Cedarstone, and that's one of the main ways a bank makes money is lending money.
That's exactly right. So lending is in full force. Of course, as we talked about the past couple of times, Coleman rates remain low and very attractive, a good time to borrow money. And so that's what we're in the business to do, Coleman, whether it's a personal loan, an auto loan, a mortgage loan, a home equity loan. A lot of folks are doing that right now, utilizing the equity in their home while they can stay at home and do some renovations. So anything you need, we can take care of that for you.
Well, I guess there's some people who are still refinancing,
Sure.
too.
Sure.
And that's probably one of those things you think about it, and, well, it's a good idea. I'll do that in a while, and then
Right.
you keep putting it off. But if you're in that category,
if you're in that category, Coleman, I'd recommend it to get on that. We're not sure how long rates will be. It's kind of a volatile time, when it comes to rates. But if you are there and looking to refinance, now is the time to do it, and we'll be happy to talk through that with you.
Robert, I just don't see how they could hardly go any lower. Now,
No.
they
Right.
could maybe stay where they are for a while, but to think of them going any lower, not appreciably.
Yeah, so we think, Coleman, I know we're kind of short on time, but we believe in the next 12 months they're going to remain consistent where they are. But to your point, they're going any lower. That's kind of hard to imagine. They're kind of at at that ceiling. They're at their low point. So now is a great time if folks are thinking about refinancing.
And we never complete a commercial here for Cedarstone, or we try to never, and I don't think we've missed it many times, talking about the Simply Better free checking account.
We got to put that plug in. Absolutely. It's a Simply Better free checking account, and we mean free, Coleman. There's no minimum balance requirement. You can Cedarstone Bank debit card anywhere in the world. We call ourselves a global bank because of that, and you can access your money and with no fee. And a lot of times that can be $4 or $5 these days in the foreign transaction fees. So online banking is free. Mobile check deposit, you can take a picture of a check, deposit that into your account. Everything is free. It's a great account and great way to establish a relationship with Cedarstone.
It certainly is. And if you want to get on the good side of somebody, like in the banking industry, if you want Robert to look even more favorably at you when you come to ask for some money, get you one of those checking accounts.
That's exactly right, Coleman.
Establish that relationship.
It's all about the relationship. That's exactly right.
Don't get overdrawn. Help make that account look real
That's
good,
exactly
and you're
right.
going to look more favorable.
That's exactly right. It's about the relationship. We're not a transactional bank, and so we want those folks to be their bank. And that's checking accounts, lending, and everything. We can take care of that for them.
Well, I am waiting for my guest. We're about 10 after the hour, and about time for you to go. But don't go until I know there's somebody out there when I came in, and I'm hoping they're going to be coming in today to talk.
Stay here with you as long as you need me to, Coleman. We'll have a big show together.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know. I know you, but we've never talked much about sports. Are you follow sports quite a bit?
I follow sports. Yes, sir. My Ole Miss Rebels had a big victory last night against the Volunteers. So,
that's right, basketball.
Yeah, basketball was last night.
2 points.
2 points. It was a close game.
You remember the score? Was it 52?
52-50.
Yeah.
It came down to a last-minute free throw there that went 1-1 on that. So we got out of that somehow. So it's been an up and down year for my Rebels in Oxford and the basketball side.
Yeah.
But we're excited about Lane Kiffin though down there.
And where did he used to be?
That's exactly right.
Several places. But one in East Tennessee.
That's right. That's right.
Well, what about Super Bowl this week?
It's going to be entertaining, isn't it? So you have what a dynamic you have there with Mahomes and kind of the young gun and Brady, I think, who's 43, I believe, which is just incredible to see his body of work over this year.
It really is, and I think this is true. I read that if his team wins this week, if they win the Super Bowl, he will have won more Super Bowls than any other team.
I believe that's true. I think this will be 7 for him. Correct. I mean, I think he's
no
already
team,
has the most for any individual
has
player.
Won 7 Super Bowls.
Isn't that just an amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't that just an amazing stat? But what a year! I mean, who would have? I mean, I know folks talked about it at the beginning of the year that this could be a possibility, but it happened. So it's incredible.
You want to make a prediction? I've got an idea, but it's just an idea, and I'm really kind of neutral. I don't care, but
yeah, I'm neutral as well. But I think I'm going to call him the old man. I think he's going to pull this thing out. I think he is. I think they're about a 3.5 point underdog, but something weird about this year and this season. It might just happen.
Well, I think a lot is going to depend on the Tampa Bay defense.
Yes,
Mahomes is a pretty shifty, nifty quarterback, and he's quite elusive. Maybe even more so. I think he is more so than Brady.
Well, there's no doubt about that.
If that defense can hold him, then I think Tampa Bay's got a good shot.
If they can contain Mahomes and they have that dynamic playmaker, I believe, is it Tyreek Hill, I believe, on the Chiefs side. But if you contain both of those, you might have a chance.
Okay. Well, I understand I have a guest. Well, I did have a guest on the phone. I think our phone connection just went away, MJ. If you are ready to go to a break, let's go to a break. All right. All right. Shelley Barnes with the UT Extension Office is call back, Shelley. She's going to be our guest here in just a moment. But Robert, you and I need to close it out here for Cedarstone. Thanks for staying an extra couple of minutes.
I enjoyed it.
We'll
yes,
see.
sir.
I'm not really making a prediction, but I'm saying that. Well, I will too. I kind of think Kansas City's going to win, but I think a lot depends on how well the defense plays for Brady and Tampa Bay. If their defense can hold Kansas City, then then they might.
I agree.
All right.
It's gonna be interesting.
Good to have you here.
Coleman, great to be here.
Robert
Thank you very
L.
much.
McDonald, Vice President, Relationship Manager, Cedar Stone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson, Simple Banking, simply better. A break here and more coming up on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:13. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Bates Ford. Get that regular oil change. It's $24.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax, and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It's still crawling along as we look at it live here from an early morning wreck we had on 24 westbound, just past 440 there at Murfreesboro Pike. Somehow, some live turkeys got loose that was involved in the trailer that was carrying those turkeys in that area. It's just been a circus over here, and it's still crawling along as we look at it live on 24 westbound up to 440. A lot of folks are using 440 to try to go around this mess. Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies will be hosting Sleep with the Sharks March 27th. All the details, Ripley's Aquarium of the Smokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Gregory Dental in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from University Medical Center. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
You too. All right, we continue here on this Wednesday morning, and it is about 7:15, and I'm going to my guest. We have Shelley Barnes from the UT Extension Office is on the phone, along with Leslie Watkins. So between the two of you, we're going to do a lot here till 7:30. So good morning to you both.
Good morning. Morning.
What's Shelley, get us started today?
Well, I'm really excited to have Leslie on with me today, and she has some really big news to share with the program that she's been doing. So I'm going to ask her to talk about that with our audience.
Okay.
Yes. Hi. Good morning.
Hello again. Tell us about your program.
All right. So just to kind of reintroduce myself, I'm the Nutrition Education Extension Agent at the office, and I work with communities and different people in the community that are eligible for SNAP and WIC and Head Start. And what we do is offer different nutrition education programs for them. And kind of what we have going on now, it's been challenging with the pandemic and everything, trying to figure out ways to reach our clients and our participants. But we've been lucky to be able to use our virtual options. And what we have going on is the Eating Smart and Moving More program. And we're offering that via Zoom. And we just finished up our 3rd lesson last night. And kind of what Eating Smart and Moving More is the program that really focuses on food safety, healthy eating, and just increasing your physical activity for you and your family, for adults. And I think it's just real important right now, especially in the beginning of the year. We're in the pandemic, and everybody's kind of struggling with things like that, such as like physical activity and how to make healthy meals at home. And I'm real grateful to be able to offer this for our community, because it's real important right now, especially trying to navigate all that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But what this is it's about an 8-week program, and we come together via Zoom every Tuesday at 5 p.m. And it's going pretty well so far, so I'm looking forward to keeping that class going.
Well, I suppose almost the sky is the limit as to how many can participate. Would that be right? You have as many as want?
Yeah, essentially. Right now we have about 5 to 10 participants in each session, but pretty much, especially with our virtual option, really is sky's the limit, because there's more room for people to join in. It's a little bit more accessible if people aren't able to drive anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Having these virtual options kind of really, like you said, it's sky's the limit.
Well, it's you gotta. I guess you really gotta want to do this. Sometimes you have to make yourself get up out of the chair or off the couch or wherever you are and get active. And when you join with some other people, like this, even though you're not exactly together. If you're on Zoom, at least you're participating, and it's more than just doing something totally by yourself. Am I right?
Right, exactly, and that's what I really enjoy about our program too. Is a portion of our program is us doing a short physical activity together, and the participants really enjoy it because we get to do it, like you said, together on camera. I know it doesn't seem like it when you're just in your home in front of the computer screen, but as long as you're getting up and moving, doing something is the main goal. A lot of the activities that we do have, you can do either in a chair or standing up, but there's many options when it comes to the amount of physical activity
Right,
you can do.
right, and another thing too. I guess we ought to get in here. You can do all of this again, as we said, by yourself, but it's a little bit more compelling, a little bit more of a together thing if you're doing it along with some other people, even though you're not with them. So how do people contact you or get on this? Y'all get together.
Yeah, so if they want to call the office or they can email me, I can. My email is lwatkin. It's LWATKIN7@utk.edu. I think that's the best way to reach me is just shoot me an email and I can get you signed up for the class. It's very easy to do and it's free. That's the best part.
Yeah, yeah. I guess if you had to pay on this, there'd have to be some way to you wouldn't tell them how to zoom in or whatever, but totally free, and that is the good part about it. And you said, I believe this is going for 8 weeks. Is that right?
Yes, and we are on our 3rd week, but there's still time to sign up. We just ask that you at least attend 4 of the 8 classes, so there's plenty of time to sign up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else about that we've left out, or you want to add before we turn to something else?
I think that's pretty much it. I'm just real grateful to be able to offer this program and excited to keep it going.
Well, we even were talking about activity yesterday. The doctor that was here, and I primarily were talking about taking care of your heart and that sort of thing. In February, I think, is Heart Month. But one of the good ways to have a healthy heart is to exercise. There's a lot of other things involved, but exercise, like you're talking about, is one of those things, and it goes a long way to having and keeping that healthy heart. And I'm sure you agree with that.
Yes, 100%. Just all about making those efforts to do that.
Okay, Shelley, do we go back to you?
Yes, that would be great, Coleman. Thank you so much.
Go ahead.
No, I just going to ask what are you going to bring to the table this morning?
Okay, great. So, of course, I've been doing lots of planning for the year. January and February are usually my months to work a lot with my FCE clubs and get them started for the year. And this year is no different. We have been doing that. We recently had a conference call for our county council program, which is all of the leaders from all of the individual clubs to talk about the year, and that went great. Something new that they hadn't done before, and it was, we were kind of concerned on if everybody could hear, but it was a really great session that we had. And so I've been working on that and a few other things to offer to the community coming up. But also, part of my job is that I also work with our employees within the University of Tennessee and Tennessee State University program. And a few years back, I was selected to be on our 7 Habits training team. And this 7 Habits, of course, was developed by Stephen Covey, and it is a way to be really organized and to be highly effective in our jobs. Mm-hmm. And because of the pandemic, of course, these are face-to-face trainings. We haven't been able to offer those to our employees. And so we've been planning last fall and in January, and we have rolled out an exciting training opportunity. So I don't always talk about these things that we have internally, but I do think it's important to share that, extension agents do many things. We wear many hats. And so I'm going to be working on developing emotional intelligence with our employees statewide. We had 25 people registered, and I'm excited about that to do in the month of February. And when we talk about developing emotional intelligence, that's important for everyone. That really is talking about developing relationships, understanding self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. And that's really vitally important into what we do as extension agents. So if we can't do that, then we probably need to find something else to do.
Well, you do find a way to stay busy. There's plenty to occupy you right now, I think, and one of the things, or it sounds to me like that you need to have something that interests the people rather than just maybe. I don't know. I never sit around and do nothing, but I hear some people talk about that and maybe are bored. If that is the category they're in, you've got something for them, and you come up with some new stuff all the time, sounds like.
We try to, and, that's one thing during this pandemic. We have really had a lot of training opportunities offered to extension agents and specialists, and, really taking advantage of. It's really kind of additional time where, we can't really do all of our face-to-face programs that we're used to and that would be happening in a normal year. And so taking advantage of that time where we can get together virtually and work on different skills and build those has been really important for us. And so we've tried to use the time wisely and be able to come out of the pandemic better professionals and better prepared to meet the community's needs.
Right. Well, I know that you've had to do some improvising, and maybe you could ask both of you and Leslie both, how challenging that's really been. Obviously, it's been some kind of a challenge, but you have to put your mind to it, come up with something, and it sounds like y'all have done a pretty good job taking care of it.
Well, I like to think so, Coleman. When this all started back this time last year, I think that we were all pretty nervous and scared on what we would do and how would we meet the needs of the community. Because at the core of Extension, that is what we are designed to do. We're designed to help improve people's lives. And so how are we going to do that? We primarily do that face-to-face through educational opportunities with the people and the citizens of Wilson County. So one thing that I immediately worked on, I knew that people needed to learn how to can. I knew, that's part of my job every single year. I knew that we could not do that face-to-face. I knew that the opportunities needed to be given. And so quickly changed everything that I had ever done and been used to and created 11 Zoom online modules. And one good thing that came out of that, Coleman, is we had 25 and 30 people attend each session, and then we created a YouTube channel so that we could house those educational programs and the recordings on our YouTube channel. And that has actually been very helpful because all year after I was done with those sessions, when people contacted me, I was able to share a research-based resource that was done by me and shared to the community and housed on our YouTube. So I was able to share that with clients that inquired about food preservation. And so that was one way that I was able to kind of punt and change gears. So, Leslie, what about you?
Yeah, I agree. Of course, it's been a challenge. I've been, as soon as I started, it was in the midst of all this. So it was kind of hard to find my direction, but like you said, just taking advantage of the virtual options has been the main thing, and still trying to meet our partners and agencies where they were and kind of just adapting to the way things are now and just tailoring that to help make our programs as successful as possible with the challenges that we do have to face.
Well, I guess there's a little trial and error too. If something is not working right, you tweak it. If it doesn't work at all, you drop it and come up with another idea. Is that kind of right?
I think so. And that was, I was real nervous when I started doing the food preservation sessions. And so I asked Mary Draper, who is the family consumer science agent in Smith County, I said, I just need you to be on just in case anything wonky happens and I can't fix it because I'm trying to present. So actually that worked out the best, I think, because she was able to monitor chat. She was able to admit people into the Zoom session, and she was kind of my facilitator, if you will.
Yeah.
So we learned quickly on that you really don't need to be doing these programs by yourself. You need to have another colleague to help you just to facilitate. And so we do try to do that, where it's possible. And we learned other things, too. We learned that we need to have our security, really set up in our Zoom sessions.
Oh.
One thing that we always try to do is we have enabled the waiting room so that we, can see the name of the person that's trying to get in, because we know that Zoom bombing is pretty popular.
Oh.
And nobody wants to be Zoom bombed. It's
We've got about 30 seconds to wrap it up here, and either one of you tell us anything you want here as we close out this morning.
So what I would say, Coleman, is that we are still here. We are still working for Wilson County. We're still relevant, and we're still trying to meet the needs of Wilson County residents. So if you have questions about family consumer sciences, 4-H youth development, or agriculture, you need to call our office at 615-444-9584, and whomever answers the phone will give you directions to the correct agent that you need to speak with. We'd be happy to help.
All right. Well, thank you all both for being Leslie and Watkins. We enjoyed having you. Thank you so much. And Shelley Barnes as well. We appreciate all you're doing, and thanks for being with us this morning. Okay, that's part one of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:31. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota and Rental Redmax. Complete inventory of weed eaters, blowers, hedge trimmers for the commercial user and homeowner with up to a 4-year warranty. 1506 West Main. Absolute Kubota and Rental. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Still just crawling along over here on 24 westbound, just past 440 Murfreesboro Road. As you work your way up to the I-40 junction on 24 going west, we had a crash earlier this morning. It was carrying some live turkeys. Somehow or another, they got loose. They're rounding those up right now. Traffic's just crawling along here on 24 westbound as you approach 440. I don't blame you if you use 440 to get around this mess, or Murfreesboro Pike inbound as well. Ripley's Aquarium in the Smokies will be hosting Sleep of the Sharks March 27th. All the details, Ripley's Aquarium of thesmokies.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
This is Bob McDonough with Cedar Stone Bank. We know there are times when financial circumstances can be complicated for families and businesses, but we do not believe the solutions need to be. That's why for 15 years we've been delivering simple banking to our customers while still offering all services and products. We're thankful for our customers and the communities that we serve. If you don't bank with us, it would be our pleasure to visit with you and talk about how simple banking is simply better.
Cedar Stone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
She's taken care of you your whole life. Now it's your turn to take care of her. But with a family of your own and other responsibilities, there just aren't enough hours in the day. That's why it might be time to call the Pavilion Senior Living. From bathing, dressing, housekeeping, and meals, the Pavilion Senior Living is committed to being senior living you can trust for your loved one. Find out more at pavilionseniorliving.com or call 444-5556. That's 444-5556.
This is Philip Etherly with Absolute Rental and Supply. Whether it's cleaning, painting, remodeling, or simply getting better organized, we have the tools and equipment to get the job done. Scaffolding, paint sprayers, ladders, power saws, portable heaters, temporary lighting, generators, hardwood floor staplers, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers, Absolute Rental has what you need. Call 615-443-RENT. Absolute Rental and Supply. We have what you need.
Today will be the nicest day weather-wise for the entire week. Temperatures this afternoon top out around 50 degrees with bright sunny skies. On Thursday, skies will be mostly cloudy with rain showers moving in by Thursday evening. Highs on Thursday reach the mid-50s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's Look at Your Forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Got Many thanks for joining us. Part 2 here on a Wednesday morning. Philip Etherly joins us to talk about Absolute Rental and Supply, 1325 West Main in Lebanon. Phone number 615-443-RENT, R-E-N-T. 443-RENT. Philip, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You were telling me that people were listening last week.
Exactly. Yeah.
I hope they're listening every week.
Yeah. There's a lot of times I do. As soon as I leave the station here, I'm in the truck headed back, and I'll get a phone call talking about something I spoke about on the radio. So people are definitely listening.
We might as well start there this morning. You do care about your equipment. Sometimes you go over and above to make sure they know how to operate.
Exactly. We do. Like I said, we ask a lot of questions. We want to make sure it's being used for the right condition, and we want to make sure that we're show people how to properly run it. So, a lot of times that causes a little confusion or a little angst with the customers, but anyway, it's all right.
Yeah. Well, most people go to your website, absoluterental.com. They see the equipment, all that's available there. They see how much it costs for 4 hours or a day or whatever. And then if it's something they want and need, they're going to give you a call at 443-RENT and reserve it. You go from there. But most of the times they either come and get it or have it delivered, one or the other, right?
That's correct. And like I say, the delivery is a huge part of our business. A lot of people don't have the proper size vehicle to tow it, don't have experience towing equipment and so forth. And so we look at that as a big service that we can provide our customers.
Well, you've been doing this for about 19 and a half years, 20 years come June, I believe.
That's correct.
So you're getting close to 20 years in business, same location, same kind of service. You've got some pieces of equipment now you didn't have 20 years ago, and you've changed with the times, but it's been a good ride, hasn't it?
It has, and I've really enjoyed it. I hope we've been able to serve Lebanon and Wilson County well, and we've enjoyed it. I think, I tell our guys, when I hire a guy, I said, listen, if you don't like your job, I don't want you to work here 1 minute longer. Let me know. Go find another job. It's not going to hurt my feelings, but I want people who enjoy being here and enjoy working.
Well, I think it shows in your success. You've had a successful business. I mean, you've got customers coming, repeat customers. You've got a lot of people, contractors and homeowners and so on, and renters or whatever, that depend on you.
Yeah, we really do. We look at it like we're providing them a good piece of equipment to help get their job done more efficiently. So, like I say, it's just we enjoy working with the customer. We don't like this slow time. Right now, we're a little slow. Rick and I were talking out in the lobby. It's a little cold and a little wet. That we got a lot of rain over the weekend, so it's still a little wet. But things are you're already starting to hear aeration. You're already starting to hear. So, we're just trying to make sure we get our equipment in good shape and ready to go out.
Well, you really have a great location there, 1325 West Main. You've got signs all around. You almost can't miss it if you get within a half mile.
Exactly. Yeah, as we've talked before, we're right in behind Ruby Tuesdays and Advanced Auto Parts and Valvoline. Our drive is in between those two, so it really is, and from the start, my goal was to have it where people could get in and out easy, have plenty of room to get large trucks in or get equipment in and out safely. And it's really worked out well. The whole facility has.
And you came up with a good slogan as well, from wallpaper steamers to bulldozers. And that just keeps coming to my mind when I think about Absolute Rental and Supply and hearing your commercial here from time to time.
Yeah, it does. And, I tend to, because I have an excavating background, I tend to always lean towards the construction equipment and all that. It's kind of what I like. But, do remind people, we do have home remodeling projects or tools to help you with your projects, all the way down to wallpaper steamers. That's wallpaper steamers don't rent out a lot. There's not a lot of wallpaper being put up these days. But it does go to show you the kind of the wide span of stuff we do have.
Right. Well, keep that phone number in mind, too, 615-443-RENT. And that's an easy number to remember. When you can get the last 4 digits to spell a word for you, that's always a good phone number to have.
It does.
And I'll bet that was by design.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but what brand?
443-RENT, that's the number. Absolute Rental and Supply at 1325 West Main. Philip Etherly and all the friendly folks that you have there, even including still a couple of your sons, right?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, one of them's still working. One's married and went to Georgia. So
okay.
Anyway, that's all right.
Well, we appreciate having you here each week, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
Philip Etherly, Absolute Rental and Supply. Again, 615-443-RENT. We are 22 before the hour. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell joins us to talk about the city of Lebanon, last night's city council meeting, and whatever else is on his mind this morning. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning, Coleman. How you doing today?
I'm doing well, and it is good to see you. Kind of a frosty morning. Actually, it's not so much frost this morning. Pretty cold out there.
It's a little
we had
cold.
enough wind last night, I guess. It didn't totally clear off, but if we'd had the wind down a little bit and totally clear, we'd had a big frost this morning. But it's cold enough. But it's just a winter morning, and yesterday was Groundhog Day, and here we are with 6 more weeks, 6 or 7 of winter, and it'll be springtime.
Well, and Coleman, I didn't really know what the groundhog saw. I've been so busy, I forgot to look. So.
I understand that in Pennsylvania, that's the one that seemed to go by. Punxsutawney Phil did see his shadow, so according to the legend, there's 6 more weeks of winter weather.
That's what they say.
But I guess we've been here to see his shadow, too. We had some sun yesterday.
We did.
Yeah. Anyway, you, I guess, for nothing else, we'll get started on last night's meeting. You said you had a fairly short one.
We did. It was a short agenda, but there were some things on there that I think are interesting to talk about today. One of which is we had the second reading for the drainage projects that we talked about last time. Last year, the city council set aside some money to work on some drainage issues in neighborhoods around town. And so last night we got the final approval for some of the first projects. Now, this is the engineering aspect of it, to study it and see what really needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so that got approved last night. And we also continued to set up our system of collecting money from developers for traffic signals in different parts of town, specifically Five Oaks entrance. And there's also a couple out on 109 that we're collecting money for as well. So that process continues too. And that's something that's really important for safety and for traffic flow and things like that as well. But there are really a couple of other things, though, I really want to kind of focus on from last night was, we had several grants that we approved going after last night. The city council did. And Anthony Tate is our grant writer. And I really believe that's something that we need to focus on as a city, because if we can get money to spend that doesn't come from the taxpayers, that's really important.
Mm-hmm.
So there are several grants last night that the city council approved for us to go after and try to get this money. And a couple of them came from the Tennessee Historical Commission, and one of those was to get somebody to help identify grave sites at 2 of our cemeteries, Rest Hill and Greenwood. The city a few years ago really agreed to take care of those cemeteries, and one of the things that we've discovered is that there's some grave sites that the records are not there anymore, and they've sort of been lost. So this is a grant to help R.T. Baldwin find out where those graves are and really start the process of trying to find out who they belong to.
Well, I not put you on the spot. I understand Rest Hill Cemetery is right up here on Charles.
It is. It's right across the road here.
Radio station. Where's the other one? Is what?
It's Greenwood. It's over off of Maple Street, just across the road from Cedar Grove. And it's kind of back off the road a little bit, and so it's kind of in a corner. But it's a cemetery that needs some care, and the city is doing that now. And part of that process is identifying where these graves are located.
What are the chances of getting these grants? I would think they're pretty good, and if we have got a good grant writer, maybe even better.
I think they're pretty good because these are it's a worthwhile cause. And I know the Tennessee Historical Commission, which is offering this grant, these are the types of projects they look for. Now, I don't know what our competition is, but this one's for $20,000, and I believe we have a good shot at getting that one. Another grant that we approved going for last night from the Tennessee Historical Commission as well was to help repair the ceiling at Pickett Chapel, which is a very important historic site in our city. It's something that Mary Harris and the Wilson County Black History Committee has been working on for a long time, and this is a way we can help them. They're a nonprofit. And this is really where Anthony helped them get this grant. So it's not really a city grant. It's really for Miss Harris and the committee. And that's something, too, that I've encouraged Anthony to do is if we have nonprofits here in town and he has the expertise to help them get some money, then he needs to do that as well.
Well, really, it's been years that they've been working on this, and I know they have worked very hard, and it's kind of a slow process, it seems, but this might speed things up.
I hope it does. I hope it does. I was talking with Ryan Bennett the other day, the pastor at First United Methodist, and he's really involved in this, and was talking about how the community, ways we can come together to really help finish that project, because it's a great location. It's a history we need to remember, and it's a great building for us to
preserve. And how much money are we talking about here?
For the grave sites is about $20,000, and for Pickett Chapel it's about $50,000. Yeah.
And what would this $50,000 do?
Well, it's a matching grant, and the Wilson County Black History Committee would match the rest of it. I think there's another $20,000 involved in it, but they're having some troubles with their ceiling over there, and so it would repair that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then there were also a couple other grants too that I wanted to mention as well, that for the fire department to help them with some equipment that they need. There were two grants that total about $85,000, and one of those actually is from Firehouse Subs. They help fire departments around the country, and so we've applied for that one as well. And last night one of the counselors asked, what's that money going to go for? And of course, Fred Burton said sandwiches, but it's not sandwiches. It's actually equipment. So
Chris Dow loved that.
Yeah, he did.
Well, but chances, I guess, are reasonable there too.
I think so. I think so. I know that company is, they're really dedicated to fire departments around the country. I think we have a good shot at that one too.
Yeah. Well, that is a good place for a break.
Sounds good.
All right. Okay. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell is here. We have a lot more to discuss on the other side of this break here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.
And it's 7:46. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and they've got the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're still trying to clean up this situation over here on I-24 westbound at 440. Earlier this morning, a flatbed 18-wheeler was carrying some live turkeys, and they flipped over on its right side. The turkey somehow got loose out of the cage. They were over here chasing them a few minutes ago. It was wild. It was a crazy circus over here about an hour ago on 24. It's still running slow as we look at it live here on 24 westbound, trying to get up to 440. I would use 440 or Murfreesboro Pike as an alternate route. Check out the Andre chicken sandwich now available at Prince's Hot Chicken, 5814 Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
The Farm Bureau Expo is your premier location for an event of any scale, making meeting in the middle easy and accessible for event planners and guests. The Expo proudly participates in the Tennessee Pledge to allow our guests to attend events with confidence. For booking details or to explore events to attend, visit farmbureauexpo.com or check out our Facebook page at Farm Bureau Expo. We look forward to seeing you at the Farm Bureau Expo in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Before we get back to Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, let me just pass this along. According to Wilson County Trustee Jim Major, the last day to pay your Wilson County property taxes without incurring a late penalty is this Friday, February 26th. That's 2 days from now. The end of the month, the 28th, is on a Sunday, and the county trustee's office, along with other county offices, will be closed that day. So get your taxes paid by this Friday, February 26th, and especially if you're paying them at the trustee's office. And with that, back to Lebanon Mayor Bell. What else took place last night, or are we pretty much covered that?
I think that pretty much covers the meeting last night. But there are a couple of things that I do want to talk about. One is that, the budget process is coming up soon.
Yeah.
And the packets to our department heads went out last week. They got their emails with the paperwork they need to fill out. And in that email, I did have a message for them that I wanted them to cut their budgets. That's something I think is important. This is the people's money that we use, and we can always look for savings.
Now, there's got to be one or two, or maybe all of them are going to say, we can't cut. We've got to have every penny you gave us last year.
Well, I have heard that, and I understand that. I really do. But I still think we can dig in there, find some cuts, and just do what we can to save money. We do that at our homes. We do it at our businesses, and I believe we can do it in the city government as well.
Do you have a percentage in mind necessarily?
I don't. Because as I told you before, each department runs differently. Right. Some more efficient than others. So, I didn't think it was right to put a certain percentage on people, and so just go in there and look around, and of course, when time comes, we'll sit down in a room individually with each department head, and we'll go through it with them, me and Stuart Lawson, the finance director, but also, I told him, really look for your operating expenses. I don't want to cost people jobs. Don't look at cutting personnel. That's not what I'm talking about. Just look at the operating expenses and see if we can have some savings there.
Now, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up here with, but you are expecting a cut.
I am expecting a cut, wherever they can find it. And as I said, when they come to us and we go over it line by line, that's what I'm going to be looking for.
Well, I think that was a whole lot of your campaign
It was.
promises.
It was, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it. But also, I wanted to update people on the comprehensive plan subcommittee that we put together. I talked about how planning was important for the future, and so I put together a subcommittee of folks to look at our future land use plan, look at our zoning ordinances, and see if we can really, tighten that up and get a good grip on it. And the people who are on that committee, Camille Burdine, who's on city council, who also serves on the planning commission, she's serving, and also David Taylor and Mac McCluskey and Mike Walls. So I appreciate their efforts. This week, we met for 2 hours the other day, and we have met weekly since the beginning of the year. I said I want to get some things done my first 100 days, and this is one of them, and I appreciate their efforts in helping us, get to that point. But, as I said, we're looking at zoning, we're looking at the future land use plan, but we're also looking at some other things. Architectural design standards for like townhouses and apartments, so that, if we get those types of developments, then the building materials are good, they look good. We want some quality products here in town, and we really feel like the architectural design standards are going to help with that. But it's not just what buildings are made out of, it's the way they're designed. It has a lot to do with natural preservation, what the land looks like around them, some green space, but also, the landscaping and the trees. I'm really big on a lot of landscaping and trees. I think that makes places look nice, and so that's part of what we're looking at as well.
How diverse are the opinions of this group with you and you as well?
The other day, as we were talking, and we have a lot of discussions and debates about how to get where we want to go, but I think everybody agrees that we want to get to the same place. We have an agreement on what the end result is going to be. It's just how do we get there?
Okay.
And, what comes first? What comes second? What do we work on? Where's the priority? And those are discussions we're having, but there's a lot of agreement on where we want the end result. I tell you, an interesting topic came up the other day. We started talking about, some of our major thoroughfares and kind of the appearances, how we want to beautify the city and clean it up. And one of the things that we locked in on, and actually Mac McCluskey brought it up, was Barton's Creek down by Captain D's in that area. It just doesn't look good. And so we came up with some ideas about going in there and removing the invasive plants, the plants that really don't belong there and are not very attractive, and cleaning all that out and replacing them with, more attractive foliage, I guess you could say, and more canopies and things like that. So the staff is working on a plan to kind of clean up that area, and then also how can we take that example and expand it to our other waterways around town and clean those up as well, because those are just things that we pass by every day, and maybe sometimes we don't think about it, but when we look at it, think, man, that could look a lot better.
Yeah.
And so, this subcommittee is really taking on a lot. It's zoning and future land use plan. That is a big job. There's a lot of detail in that. There's a lot of information, a lot of studying. But also, I'm really glad that they've expanded it to some other areas as well, and really come up with some ideas and saying, hey, we need to look at these things too. And so that a lot of hard work is being done, and I really appreciate that.
The owners of the property have a role in this too, and whether they're on the same page with you, I would think has a lot to do with
it does, and as Jeff Baines says a lot, we have a certain amount of right of way that we take care of, and so that's really what we're focused on right now.
Okay,
the right of way aspect of it, and then the hope is that once we take care of that, then we can talk to the property owners about, hey, let's take it further out and do some things, because there's we mentioned grants earlier. There's some grant possibilities as far as paying for this, and if we can get some grant money to go in and take out some of these invasive plants and clean it up and make it look better, I think that the property owners would probably like that too.
I think it would benefit them. Probably the value of their property might even go up a little bit.
It could.
What are we talking about? An awful lot of money here. I'm just wondering. You may not have much idea yet.
Well, not yet. This is just in the infancy stages, really. And but we did talk about, though, that that grants would help take care of this. And that's really what we're looking at. But right now, this is just, we're in the talking stage, and, we really have to put a plan together, and that's what this subcommittee really is all about. But there's all this stuff that's going to happen in the future. Right now, we're just kind of throwing it out there a little bit.
What about input from the community, from interested citizens, maybe contacting if they know one of these members of the subcommittee with an idea?
Absolutely. These meetings are advertised, so they are open to the public if anyone wants to come. But please, reach out to me or reach out to our staff, or reach out to any one of these members of the committee. They're volunteers. They're people who care about the city and want to have input. And I tell people all the time, if you have an idea, please tell me, because I can't think of everything, and I know they can't either. So there's a lot of ideas out there. Please share them. Contact us, and we'll be happy to look into it.
Well, I take it you are staying pretty busy. Your days are probably longer than 8 hours.
They are. It is busy. So far I've been mayor for 2 months now, and I'm really surprised when I look at my calendar for the week about how many people I'm talking to that week and how many people I'm meeting. But it's really good, because I'm meeting a lot of people, because I want to learn, but I also want to share ideas. And you can't get anything done just sitting by yourself in an office. You have to be out there talking to people, and I don't spend much time in my office. I'm out and about, so just working hard and trying to get things done.
As far as the pandemic, as coronavirus, all that we've gone through for at least 11 months now, as you look to the spring, the summer, what do you see? I know what you're hoping for, but I think we all are.
Yeah, I'm hoping for the same thing everybody's hoping for. And I did get the memo this week that the age range for the vaccine is lowered to 70.
Right.
And they're hoping that by the 1st of March it can lower down to the 60s, so that's good, and make sure everybody gets that and gets the coronavirus behind us. Right now, I guess I'm surprised by the fact that our sales taxes have remained high throughout this process, including the shutdown that we went through. That they're still running good, but you never know. We might still have a ripple effect from this, and that's one of the reasons that I'm asking the department heads to cut their budgets. You never know what's going to happen in the future, and I really have a conservative view of finances, and we just need to watch out, because you never know. But as far as the coronavirus, the vaccination process, I know it's been frustrating. The Tennessee Department of Health runs that, and but hopefully we can get it out and get this thing behind us.
Well, I in spite of the whatever hardships it's presented and so on, I don't think, of course, I know we've lost some people and we regret that, but when we think about, we haven't just sat down and come to nothing here. We've worked through this, and really, I want to think generally here in our area, we've worked through it pretty well.
We have worked through it well, and it's a pandemic, and it's a virus that's out there, and it's been tragic. It really has, to see what's happened here in our community. There's been a lot of tragedy too, but as a whole, we've really come together. Last year we came together for the tornadoes,
right,
and then the coronavirus hit right after that, and this community is really has really come together, and we've supported each other, I think, and we've supported families who have gone through this, and had it and faced tragedy with it. We've supported local businesses who have been affected by it. And that's the one thing we can't forget is there are still people who are being affected by it, both on a personal level, both on an economic level, and as a city government, we have to always remember that, even though we may look at our books and the sales tax numbers are coming in good and things may look great. It's not great for everybody, and we need to always keep that in mind.
We got 1 minute. Are you about to do a history lesson or something? Seemed like I saw something on the internet.
It's the Cumberland Alumni Association has asked me to give a little history lesson about the history of Cumberland. It's on Zoom, and so just contact Cumberland to get signed up for that. I'm still a historian. But speaking of Cumberland, though, I can't get off the air without mentioning Coach Woody Hunt. Last week he announced his retirement, and we worked together for 19 years. And he's a legend. He's a pillar of our community, and now he's retiring. And it's truly an end of an era, not just for victories on the baseball field, but also for his impact on young people.
Right. Let's sure hope he has a great season. It would be wonderful to get back to the World Series.
Well, he said in his announcement he wants to get thrown out of one more game, but I visited with him the other day, and we talked about that, and he said, I want to win, but he said I also want to get through the season. I want to make sure we have a good season and be able to play the games, and that this team has a good time. So.
All right. See you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Thanks so much. Mayor Rick Bell. That's it for a Wednesday. Join us tomorrow if you will. Till then, I wish you a wonderful day.